All right, we got Michael Cabarus here. This stuff is good for you, CBD oil. Guys running the shop here. It's another entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. Mike, what's going on today, buddy?
Oh, it's going on pretty good here. Thank you very much. A little nervous. I'm not really used to being on camera, but nonetheless, I'll do my best.
I appreciate it, man. So let me say this. You run your own business here in Las Vegas?
Yes, we're local. We started here almost 7 years ago, and we have 2 stores. They're off of Buffalo and Florida, which is my main store. That's where I'm always at. And another is store off of Fort Taxi.
Do you feel like you were ahead of the curve when it comes to CBD?
Absolutely. We were the first CBD store that ever opened up here in town. And we're a little mom and pop shop. So we all started working out.
Yeah.
And from there,
we're going to talk with you too as far as the housing market, but just want to say thank you for coming on, and hopefully you enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, you'll come back hopefully.
The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
And what's going on, everybody? It's Dan French. It's the French Workbench Podcast here on a Saturday. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have a great show today. A lot of good information. We're going to talk with Brett about what's going on in the real estate world. Give us an update on that. We got Michael Cabarus. He's a guy that's going to talk CBD oil. And as always, I'm going to talk a little bit about interest rates and what's going on here in the housing market and also on the financing side. So, guys, let's get right into it. Brett, what's going on, buddy?
Just living the dream, man. I can't hear myself.
You can't hear yourself?
Yeah.
We can hear you fine.
I can hear the music, but I can't. Can you turn me?
Oh, can you hear now?
Hold on. A little more.
A little bit more. Are you okay now?
No, can you turn me up a little bit more?
Oh, a little bit more.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Sorry. Live, large and in charge. What's happening?
From the studios.
Live
here in Las Vegas.
Morning. No, man, like I said, I'm just living the dream, Dan. I'm just out there getting buyers in the properties, stopping by the new home builders, seeing what's coming on the market, any standing inventory.
Nice.
And, man, just trying to enjoy this weather when it's not getting getting blown over at 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds.
Yeah, people don't realize that Vegas is not it's not a windy city.
Yeah,
but we can get for a windy city.
People understand. It's like I'm from the Midwest, and we get rain and snow and sleet and everything in between, and we get a lot of sunshine out here and very little rain. But you know what we do get? Wind.
Yes.
Lots of it. Like you're standing on your gas pump and you're holding on with one hand and you're bracing yourself.
Yeah, there were some people that were out trying to steal gas. So,
I saw that.
Yeah, you guys need to watch your back, man.
I saw that.
Trying to get some gas. I'm telling you right now, they're going to take that and they took that to another state and was making money off of it.
Were they?
Got caught. Yeah.
Well, dude, that's like so you've seen these copper thieves.
Yeah.
So some of these neighborhoods where their street lights are out, straight up copper thieves will show up, pretend like they're a crew from the city, be dressed like they're a crew from the city, and go into the street light in the middle of the day and strip all the copper out of it.
Really?
There's a lot of money in copper.
Very creative ways in Las Vegas, let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the boonies back when I used to live in Guam. I used to live in Guam, and there would be typhoon seasons, and the locals would go into the bases and cipher gas.
Really?
Yeah, it happened all the time.
If you guys don't know who this is Mr. Michael Cabarus. And go ahead and put your company out there, Michael. What's going on, buddy?
This stuff is good for you. We're an all-natural bath and body CBD store.
First of all, I just want to say that name is awesome.
Yeah,
what's the name of your company? This stuff is good for you. That's awesome, man.
At some point in your life, you said this stuff is good for you. That's the idea.
That's why I love it.
We want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no egos about it. There's no names or anything. This is silly. We just keep it simple, stupid.
But everybody's gonna remember that name.
Yeah, this stuff is good for you. Look at that. Type it in. I know it's really long. Everybody tells you to have a short address for
people
your company,
remember it though, yeah.
but you're gonna remember it. This stuff is good for you.com. Just type it in. You'll
That's
find
awesome.
some amazing stuff there.
Absolutely.
Really good
So
for
we're
you.
going to talk a little bit with Mike about CBD and also these shops that's opened up. This is an entrepreneur show as well, so we're going to talk a lot about what's happening with that and how it's progressing here in Las Vegas. We're also going to talk about what's going on in the Las Vegas housing market with Brett, and we're also going to talk a little bit, like I said, about what's going on with rates. So let's get right into it and talk with Michael here. So Michael.
Yes, absolutely. What's up?
What made you, first off, when did you get started in owning your own business for CBD?
Well, I never thought I would ever own a business. I did this because of my own illness, my own health, and then also my partner. My partner and I my partner, he, for the longest time, had been walking around with braces. He was in a bike accident when he was 18, and he's been on all sorts of pain meds, anxiety meds. It's just meds galore. And we started learning about CBDs. And then for me, I've always had health problems. Since I was a kid, I've had a really weakened immune system, and it just caught up to me when I was 30, and I had vision loss.
No kidding.
Yeah, I lost my vision. I had retinitis, which is like your nerves eating the back of your eyes. And anyways, well, CBD, CBD was my saving grace. I started not only producing this stuff. I'm myself I am a scientist, so I do a lot of research, and also my partner is a chemist.
You make your own product.
Yes, we make and manufacture our
Wow.
own. We're known for our formulations. We have some of the most strongest and most potent, effective formulations because we do use genuine full spectrum. We're known for our CBD oils. We're in a couple different states, and we catered mostly to here in Vegas. We started here at the farmers markets almost 7 years ago.
Okay.
And from there, it just took off. We're mostly in a lot of mom and pop shops. We don't deal with any big box, and we don't do any advertising, largely because this industry as a whole is pitted against the wall because a lot of things are against it. The CBD has such a bright future, such a bright. It does so much for so many people, and there's so much science behind it, and even the people that should be working on these things, making it more available to everybody, like doctors, and so they big pharma. That's a big part of what plays a role in our everyday business.
So have you found that since it's become legalized in a lot of states, and since it's probably going to be federally here pretty soon, that
the demand
now that it's acceptable in a sense, people will be sticking more money towards it? Have you found that the research has kickstarted by 10, and in the last 3 or 4 years since things have become a little more legal with a lot of states, it's really escalated what the effects that you're going to be able to get out of it and the discoveries with it?
Absolutely, and with what's going on within the last 2 years, that just even accelerated even further.
Yeah, I bet.
There are studies coming out from University of Oregon, a couple in California, about how CBD is extremely helpful for combating all stages of COVID, and all strains of COVID. So and that was all over the news for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's disappeared. And now everybody's talking about this new vaccine and how there's COVID's coming back.
Of course,
all
to
bullshit.
the government, there's no natural cures. Only government medication.
Only with the drugs
or government
are pushing.
approved medication.
Absolutely. Don't even get me started on
I
this
know,
role.
man. We're on the same page, believe me.
So you starting? Let's talk a little bit because I want to get back into this. So you started your business 7 years ago?
Yeah, 7 years ago. I started with my partner, and I was doing farmers markets. That's how we got our
farmers markets.
Yeah,
what is that?
Farmers markets. There was
Cali.
Yeah.
What's a farmer's market? Jesus.
Well, if you guys are from California or Oregon or anything, the farmers markets
Oregon or Washington
are like flea markets.
or northern.
But you know what? They're trying, and the last 7 years, there's been a ton of farmers markets all around, just popping up here and there. But I was doing the farmers markets for years. I would be doing like 3 or 4 different farmers markets, five sometimes, all throughout the week. And I would set up shop. I do all the hard
That
work.
is a lot, man. Doing 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, I would meet hundreds of people all throughout the week, and it just accelerated from there. And then I would do. Eventually, I started doing conventions.
Yeah.
I would do the health conventions, the craft conventions, and I'd get my product out there between here and in town, and then also California and a couple of states. So I was getting my stuff out there, and now I'm in a lot of pet stores. I work with a lot of the pet industry.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm
Well, I brought you on for a big reason here. So we
Yes.
just had 420 pass. And,
Yeah, we had a 420 thing going
Yeah,
on.
did you
What's
guys? Well, if 420 crew. You know if you got them.
What's
Smoke 'em
420?
if you got them. You tell me, Brett.
I don't know, man. What's my name?
I don't know.
Can't remember.
So Brett, so let me say this: we did bring you on though because it was interesting to me that
Yes.
we would have you come on during this time. At
right.
420 is definitely. So do you have a lot of people that really celebrate that day?
Yeah, it's
Dude, it's a national holiday, or it should be.
it doesn't say
I'm not kidding.
it doesn't say on the calendar, but it is a holiday.
It should be. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, look, you saw what happened, Mike Tyson, right? I mean, he was out supporting the. Did you see what was going on with that? How he's on the airport?
So he punched
airplane?
someone because he was high?
No, he went to a CBD.
No, I didn't hear anything about this.
No, he
What's
went.
this?
He went to
Oh,
a
yeah, on a
cannabis.
plane. Did you watch that, though? Did you see that guy behind? Dude, he deserved it.
No, he did.
I mean, he was sitting there for like an hour.
Yeah, no,
just,
he did.
just like antagonizing Tyson, and Tyson's trying to remain calm. And finally,
I've
Tyson,
met the man. I used
Tyson?
to, when I first
Yeah.
when I first moved out here, I was working on the Strip. That's what paid for school. Is I was a server on the Strip for a long time. I was working in Mandalay Bay, and one day Mike Tyson and his crew comes in, and I end up serving him, and they're ordering bottles of Cristal and all these other like some really expensive.
Was the whole thing Wudukith?
What? Yeah,
The
it
whole
was-
thing Wudukith?
It was really, it was crazy.
I just tried.
And he got up, and I didn't realize how short he was. Wow. And
Well,
And how powerful he is.
Well, let me say this: he's a shorter guy.
He's a short guy, and
but
he
he's
has a
stocky.
girlfriend
He's
with him.
still,
Yeah.
he's still about 5'11". You know what I mean? He just looks.
Yeah.
I think
Is
he looks shorter.
He's what, 5'11"?
Yeah, he looks shorter because he's stocky, right? He's a really thick person, right? You can see how big he is.
I'm sure he's a cool dude. I don't know anything
No.
about Mike Tyson. No.
So let's go back. So what are the challenges? So you started your company 2015. So as you're driving around Vegas, what I start to see is a lot of stores opening up. You got people that are there really wanting to, I would say not experiment, but find out what CBD is about. And there's a reason. There's obviously more. You got more stores opening up. 15, 20 stores I think now open up in Las Vegas. This is going to be a continuous trend. What do you see happening here? You think this is going to keep?
Well, what happened during the pandemic is there a lot of stores started popping up, and then you'll see like a lot of the stores actually died. A lot of these different stores just didn't make it. It's unfortunate, but it's a wild west right now with the CBD industry. There's so much of it.
I
out
think
there.
you have a different and obviously a better business plan than a lot of these people too, which
Yeah,
is
we've
you
been around
make
for a
your
long time.
you make your own,
Yeah.
and you started growing yours from the roots up with a
Right.
base of people, and then go from there organically. And most importantly, you make your own. I'm
Yes.
assuming a lot of these people are just a middleman.
Yeah, we make our own. We keep it completely local.
That's
We started-
awesome, man.
We started with the farms in Pahrump, and then it's just expanded over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Parump's a huge grower for cannabis. If you go ever drive by there, you can smell the cannabis. You can smell all the.
Were they the ones that bought the Love Ranch?
That did sell, didn't it?
Weren't you telling me about that place, Dan?
Yeah, it just sold for 1.2 million.
What'd you say the bar was like there?
Anyways,
Yeah, the greenhouses, outdoors. I mean, they do pretty well. They grow it. It's local. It's more bioactive that way. It's more effective, more active.
So let me say this: what's the pros and cons, right? What's the benefits of using CBD? A lot of people think that it's better than using pharmaceutical drugs, things like that. So why CBD?
Well, there's CBD is simple because it's your body actually produces cannabinoids that are identical to CBD, and that's initially what's responsible for your brain growth, your brain, your neural cortex, your whole nervous system. You have CBD receptors everywhere, all throughout your body.
So what does it do though?
That's what regulates inflammation.
Okay.
And it also helps talk to your DNA.
Okay.
It's a better way. So your body is constantly producing chemicals, and that kind of streamlines the process. The CBD is, a lot of people use it though for anxiety and pain, things like that. That's one of the initial benefits for it, but it has a lot of other uses, and largely because inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of a lot of conditions.
Is that due to stress though? Because a lot of people have stress in their life, and it's like
stress is a factor. Yes.
Right. So is that a way to treat stress? Like, let's say your body starts to break down. Stress is a silent killer. You know, I think a lot of people don't understand that, and they just, I'm going to keep going, but maybe it helps. I'm not sure, because I know I had inflammation because I've had stress in my life. Believe me.
Well, dude, I mean, think about what stress leads to.
It's all
eating
connected.
too much, drinking too
It's all
much,
connected.
not like,
It's all
going
connected.
into vices that aren't our best, just a whole bunch of things.
Exposure in general. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of exposure going on right now, and it's gotten worse over the years. There's more EMF. There's more. Everything interacts with your circadian rhythm, your nervous system. So it's very important to protect yourself from exposure constantly, whether it's what you eat or whether it's CBD. CBD.
So
is the
CBD works parallel with your natural body.
Yeah, it's like eating your vegetables.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but there's some people out there that are going to question that, right?
They should, man. It's not like they're
but
smoking
listen,
and getting
they
high.
will, because
There's a
it's not
different-
that. It's not what I'm
Right,
saying.
and
They're
this
going
is-
to question
this-
doing the natural way.
Yeah.
And is it mentally half of it? Like, you could take the CBD oil. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it benefits. It's good. But is half of that, is it mental in your mind that this is going to work for you?
No, there's actually science behind
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I'll take it and tell you firsthand it's not mental.
When you're using the CBD, I mean, the best way to really understand this stuff is to try it out yourself. But when it comes to CBD, there's two sources for CBD. There's either marijuana or hemp. Hemp has more of CBD and all the different cannabinoids, whereas marijuana, it's specifically designed for more THC and very little of everything else. So it's really important to get what kind of CBD you're getting.
Well, is the THC, like, that's obviously the weed part where you're smoking and you want to get that people talk about
and
that high.
So you can go two routes. You can do just CBD for the pain relief or anxiety, and you don't get high at all. It just relieves that. Or it can say, I'm going to get high and I'm going to get pain relief. Which I don't know why I wouldn't choose that one, but
Yeah.
Funny thing is,
I think you do
That's a
choose
personal
it.
choice.
Don't you choose it, Brett?
pretty much
if,
every day.
Funny thing is, if you ever get way too high, or if you get too drunk, if you drink or any kind of head change, you just want to level it out. You take CBD, and that'll level you out right away. That's why pubs in Europe, they'll sometimes have CBD, and you just walk out.
And you were saying that right now. You have a product where you have CBD in coffee.
Yes. So I just opened up a brand new coffee shop.
That's awesome.
It's called Serendipity.
Whoa!
It's great.
You need to go just for that name.
It's gourmet coffee.
Dude, I love that name.
Everything. It's the beans that we get are excellent.
Where's it at?
It's off of Buffalo and Sahara. It's where my main store is. It's a nice little spot.
Yo, that's by my area, kinda.
You can't miss it. We take that whole entire corner, and come on in. Just
Right up the street from the source.
Yeah, there's a couple dispensaries around there.
Yeah.
I want you to hold up a couple of items you brought today, because you brought some things that we want to discuss. Can you hold up
Absolutely.
some stuff and just explain what these things are?
This is our 2,000 milligram tincture oil. It's very popular. It's a CBD oil, and again, it's full spectrum. We do test to make sure it's full spectrum. That's one of the things you need to look out for when you're purchasing CBDs is because, like I said, it's a wild west out there. You never know what you're gonna get. And if you ever go to like a quickie shop or something, you're never going to find a real good CBD source. So it's good to find an excellent CBD source that actually has all the cannabinoids. That's what makes it effective. This is our 2,000 milligram tincture. It's typically a 2-month supply for most adults. It's one dose almost.
Was that a droplet or what?
Yeah, it's a dropper.
Okay, dropper.
Up.
So then what do people usually put it in? Their coffee, food, everything?
No. You
or-
want to use it directly under the
okay.
tongue. By holding it under the tongue there, that goes right into the nervous system.
Gotcha.
that goes right to the brain and everything, and then you swallow the rest. It's good too for the gut.
Okay.
And it's 2,000 milligrams. There's a little dropper in here. It's measuring line and everything. And this is just a really good maintenance dose. Just keep it.
So what
keep
if
up
somebody
every day.
was to take? They're supposed to have 2 drops and then take 4 drops. Nothing. Right.
The worst that can happen is you might fall asleep.
Darn.
I got a question here.
I
It
can do
says,
that.
Does it help with does it work for arthritis? This is a question
Absolutely.
by Beth.
I get a lot of folks that use it for arthritis, for swelling joints, back. Also, the oils are really good too for getting deep into the body, especially bone on bone pain. The oils are the only thing that will work for that.
My mom
So that's the minimum you have, right? Is that the minimum?
No, that's our most popular. This is our most popular product. It's our 2K tincture.
Okay.
Only because it lasts for quite a while. It typically lasts about 2 months for most adults. But if you're highly inflamed, it might last you about a month.
So they just take that. They don't need to rub it on the specific area or anything. It's just a drop or
Nope,
2 on the tongue.
you just hold it under the tongue,
Okay.
and it works on the whole entire body.
I can tell you personally, for the arthritis question, my mom had lower back pain for years. I mean, she was getting acupuncture and everything, and she started taking CBD, and it was like God sent for her. And I can tell you firsthand, she had years of back pain. Started taking CBD.
Good.
I mean, it's
that's
crazy
good for
how,
her.
and it's all natural. That's why I was saying when we first came in here, it's crazy that it's been, associated THC and banned for all these years because it's so natural and so effective. It's crazy. It's better than most medications out there. You know?
and there's a lot of things like there's a lot of organizations like that within the big pharma movement that they're trying to discredit CBD. Like for instance, there was one study a couple of years ago about how CBD could affect your liver. That was a totally bogus study.
Yeah.
And that was that they were testing it on rats and they were overdoing it.
So why now though? Why does all this become legal now? Why does everybody starting to open up shops? Why is it growing so fast here in Las Vegas? Because that's one of the reasons I'm bringing you in here is because we saw this happen where we opened up a store. I was going to say, well, let's see how it works, and it just went off. Everything businesses started opening up. A lot of businesses. So why is it doing well now, and why did it not open before? I guess you can say, like why did it wait till 2015 before they started opening things up? I know it had to pass law and legislation, but why wouldn't it be proposed, or introduced before?
Well, it's been a battle. It's been a constant battle. It was only because of what happened in Colorado with kids with seizures. There was a company, I forgot the name, but they were really popular. There was these brothers that were using CBD oil on children who had severe seizures, and the only thing that would work was the CBD. And they became really popular just because of mothers who were concerned about something that actually worked that wasn't going to affect their children in a negative way.
Grassroots by moms.
Yeah, grassroots, exactly.
Basically.
That's the only reason why this.
Yeah,
this
dude, no
came
one's
up.
got more best interests as kids than their moms.
Yeah,
like,
moms. Absolutely, that's. Thank you, moms.
Yeah.
Thank you. They're the ones that are the only ones fighting for us that are making a huge difference. But now everybody's kind of coming around, which is great.
Yeah.
So let's show up some more of
even
these things you
doctors.
have. You have some gummies here. Let's see what you have.
Yeah,
here.
we're known for our a CBD oil, of course, and also our pain creams. This is our pain cream. It's more of a gel, actually. It spreads really easily. I love this pain cream. This works instantly. It has juniper berry, which goes deep into the nerve, so very little, just a tiny dime size. In fact, I have a sample over here. This is our sample container that we give out to folks who want to try it out.
What is that right there?
It's a pain cream sample.
It's a cream. Okay.
It looks kind of silly because it only has like a certain portion of it there. It's very tiny. And that little tiny amount.
That's
is
all
enough.
you need, though.
Yeah, it'll cover your whole knee. It'll cover your whole lower back.
Kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very little of this stuff goes a long way, and it lasts for hours. And then our strongest new tincture oil. This is really starting to come up now. This is our 54,000. We work with a lot of animals here in town. We're in a lot of pet shops.
That's the part I love the most, man. Is you work with a lot of animals with the CBD.
Yeah, including horses. I work with horses, lizards. I work with all kinds of animals. CBD is universal.
Lizards? You work with lizards?
Yeah, there's a lizard shop in.
Dude, lizards, man, their joints be killing them at the end. You ever see them like that? I mean, going up and down, dude, that shit gets sore.
Yeah, snakes,
Something
lizards.
like, what would a lizard need for CBD?
Help them.
Oh, you ever see their videos? Sorry.
Absolutely. There's all sorts of pets. I mean, it works. It's great.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So what's the craziest animal that you've actually used that on? 'Cause that's got to be number one.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Oh, snakes. We have a shop in California that uses it.
Sorry, man. Compose yourself, Dan French. We're professionals here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's mostly I get a lot of cats and dogs, but you know it works on everybody.
Hey, but you know, I'm going to say something. I got a guy really good friend of mine, older dog, and the older dog couldn't move around. And this is what he said. He gave it some CBD oil. All of a sudden, he was like spunky again, right? He was back doing his thing, like older dog, like 12, 13 years old. And all of a sudden, it was running around.
Dude, I'm telling you, I know. I've seen it. It's not a mental thing. I know that because I've had soreness before from working out or whatever it is, or just from getting old.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on there, and I'll be having a conversation or something, completely forgot that I even had it on. And 10 minutes later, it's like, wait a second, I don't even have any pain anymore. That's how I know it works.
So you feel like it's a miracle drug?
It's not a miracle drug. It's just really effective.
It's scientifically explained. It's natural.
Yeah, I mean, it has its limitations, but for the most part, it's very effective. As far as the natural anti-inflammatory, as far as your brain for neuroplasticity. I mean, my own history, just in my own self, like when we first started, was because of my own health. I had a health problem with my eyes. I was blinded and my
Really?
Yeah.
When you say that, you were actually blind at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like you weren't seeing anything.
I don't think he was blind. I think what he's saying is
I was blind.
You were completely blind.
I was completely blind for almost 2 years.
What?
Yeah, and
what?
No, I'm not kidding. I was when I've always had a weakened immune system, and that stuff affects your health. Is when it comes to your health, when your health starts to deteriorate, it affects your vision. That's one of the things that it immediately affects, and so my health, as far as my immune system, was shot. And at the time, it's just a really bad time for me. I was in my 30s. Vegas has been great to me, but at the same time, it's what you make it.
So, side question here, man,
Yes.
because dude, I've always been dying to ask a blind person, but I never wanted to be rude because they were blind. But you're not blind anymore, so I can ask you.
Yeah. So
what's it like to be like so?
It's scary. It's
how do you know when you're asleep or awake?
No. I mean, I can still
it's
see.
always.
I can still see light. It's just I couldn't see past my hands.
Wow.
I had so much inflammation in the back of my eyes. It caused a tear.
That's what it was, huh?
And I was getting all these floaters, and eventually my vision just clouded up to a
because
point where
your
it was
eyes were
gone.
swollen too much.
Yeah, it was swollen. The pressure was really high. I was getting so many particulates all throughout my vision, and
so the CBD took care of all that.
Not at first. When I started taking the CBD oil, it helped with my immune system in that regard.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
But when I started doing more research, we found out we can formulate CBD eye drops. We're one of only a few that actually do it. And so I started creating CBD eye drops with my partner. My partner's the chemist. He and I are been into this for quite a while. But he's able to formulate these for me, and I've been using the CBD eye drops since. It took just within the first 3 days, my vision cleared. That's how fast it was. It was
wow.
Yeah.
What? So you went from blind for almost 2 years to within 3 days.
Yeah. It was that fast.
Wow.
It was that fast. It was the inflammation that was in the back of my eye. As soon as the inflammation was cleared out, my vision started correcting itself, and also. It got better. It got better over the years. It's unfortunate that I had to deal with it. I had to go through it with it. It created permanent damage. So there's still damage, but it's way better than when it was.
Man, so you were able to see, and then you went blind, and then able to see again.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about
man.
COVID and what happened with you guys as your business. So you opened up your business. And you guys had some challenges, or did you not have challenges opening up, especially dealing with COVID? You know, let's talk a little bit about.
Absolutely, COVID was a challenge, but at the same time, we came through it with flying colors. As soon as COVID happened, we were told to shut down, and we shut down our stores, and but we were still in business. We were still there, and people would come up anyway and make purchases. So we would do curbside for the longest time. So that it worked out really well. And then the pet stores, they're essential store. They were essential businesses, so they stayed open. So everything was still groovy.
Because you had a customer there to the pet store.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that people during COVID and during these challenges, you got to think, how many times have we had one obstacle as a whole, as people, community, as far as our nation, like we've had COVID, we have a war, we had stuff going on all the time. Do people are starting to turn to these types of things to kind of just help out with maybe the stress, maybe just kind of relax themselves? Like what is that? Do you see an increase in people coming in, especially during these times?
Yes, no, and the aftermath. So yes, people are starting to come in. Those who are kind of enlightening themselves and actually doing the research and looking into it, and then those who are unfortunately have already been affected by COVID or by the vaccines or whatever reason, and need help, whether it's inflammation or, unfortunately, any condition causes inflammation.
What are some of the challenges you think people like yourself go through opening a business here in Las Vegas? Because look, you opened up in 2015. You really had no competition. Now you're having competition. What is some of the challenges you're going through? Because everybody's jumping on this. You got people with some deep pockets that are trying to start their own stores, get this going because of how big it is in Las Vegas.
Well, I'm more than happy for other people to come in and try to get into the industry, but unfortunately, I see so many of them just fail, and it's largely because they're just now getting into it, or they're putting a lot of money in the wrong thing.
I think more what you're referring to are the dispensaries.
The dispensaries?
Well, the dispensaries have competition because they are direct competition.
The dispensary, that's where if you knew someone in this town, you got, and that's where like huge, with more like CBD.
It's on every
a lot
shelf
of the big dogs probably weren't so much going into CBD as they were the dispensary.
Absolutely,
correct?
Absolutely. But it doesn't affect us. It's a lot. We're finding actually a lot of dispensaries will recommend us.
That's awesome.
So they don't have a product that somebody's looking for, and they'll say, "Hey, you got a better product, or you have more to choose from."
They don't concentrate on CBD. They're specifically on THC.
That's what I'm saying. That's not where their money's at, man.
We concentrate on just CBD and the health benefits.
Isn't there a lot of CBD oil stores opening up though, like as well with competition?
Yeah, but they're not. That's what he's saying.
There is a lot of CBD stores opening up, but they're either funded by big money and they don't know what, as far as the quality, and then there is a lot of shops popping up, but we've been around for a long time. We have a solid basis, and also our products speak for itself.
Do you do a lot of sales online?
We do. We had a big, huge 420 sale that just happened. We did really well, and then
smoke weed every day. Sorry, it's from this commercial back home.
What commercial?
Well, on this radio station 105.5 every Friday at 5 p.m. to celebrate the weekend, you'd have somebody be like, "This is from a movie," and goes, 420, smoke weed every day. Anyways, it was before.
Oh, that, yeah.
Is that a song?
It was. They used to play it on this radio station back in Madison to start the weekend at 5 p.m. and then they'd play Legalize It too.
Love it.
No, sorry. Then they'd play Smoke Two Joints. And that would officially start the weekend in Madison, Wisconsin. Anyways.
Is that what you guys do in Madison? It's like you guys start off, you smoke 2 joints, and then the weekend
starts? The thing I know about Madison is, Madison is super liberal, and then the rest of Wisconsin's very conservative. So everybody in Wisconsin says that Madison is 77 square miles surrounded by reality.
Here's a good question. She said, will you have your coffee available online, the one you're selling? Because you're selling this coffee online, right?
Well, we sell coffee beans, sure. But we have our coffee shop, and you can just order online as far as delivery. But the CBD aspect of it, you can add CBD to the coffee. We do have that at the store. So if that's what you're asking about.
Yeah. So you guys do sell it. You sell it online, or you don't? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we sell
Just the beans.
the beans. Oh, the beans are the beans are by itself. There's no CBD in it. You have to add a shot.
Yeah, you have to add it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
They don't make beans with CBD in it.
I see.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
Soon.
There's a bunch of stuff in the pipeline.
So I want to wrap this up because I
Yeah.
want to still talk to you a little bit. So can you go ahead and introduce or show what other things you brought here?
So we started as a soap company. So this is our CBD soaps. This is our
You
muscle
started a
rescue.
soap, huh?
Yeah, soap
Is that
company.
the whole
Bath and
Muscle
Body.
rescue. Dude, that's awesome. Look at this guy, man. You
So
got it.
dude, he's an entrepreneur.
Dude,
man.
100%.
It's all
And it's
handmade.
green like the Hulk.
Yes, it's actually this
David
is
Banner.
the old recipe for Vicks. It's eucalyptus,
Oh,
rosemary,
get
peppermint.
the Straight up,
Brett's
man.
gonna hit that up.
Dude,
for
I'm
sure.
for sure. Coffee and CBD, I'm all about this guy, man.
And then the gummies are really popular. These are nighttime gummies. You just take one or two before you go to bed, and it's like a really deep, good night's sleep. You wake up refreshed. You don't feel groggy at all. That's what happens with some of these CBD oils. You know, it's half THC, half CBD.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day kind of groggy and just not want to get up.
What?
Do you feel like you get energy from taking that though? Like really? Do you really feel like you're like energetic after you take it?
Well, what's nice about CBD, if you take it in the beginning of your day, it reduces inflammation throughout the day. Inflammation is what causes you to wear down. So
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah,
Is the cost of the material, like as far as making it, right? Has the cost gone up to get it? Like, is people used to spend $20, $25? Now all of a sudden with inflation and everything, you guys have all seen this. Is the business running where they're passing or having to raise costs?
What's really unique about CBD, the CBD industry, is it's not affected by the economy. In fact, if anything, it's expanding. It's becoming more and more. Where it's to be right now is the cannabis industry, and they're definitely opening up. I mean, it's not affected by price. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically has
the cost gone up
of-
for people? Like, are you seeing
No,
that you have to pass the
we've
cost?
just reduced our price. Again, we're the manufacturer. We produce it ourselves, so there's no other extra
with
costs.
that. So how do you make it? What's the combination of what's the physical process that you go through to make it without taking 20 minutes? Sorry.
Well, it's the farms. They're the ones who extract. Oh, they extracted. They're the ones who are able to. They put into a press and
yeah, because I was gonna say they're licensed to handle marijuana, and so that's where
and then from there we get the actual raw ingredients.
Okay.
And then we manufacture and produce all sorts of stuff with it.
I got a question here for you. It says, what levels of CBD should be taken for energy? Do you have like a
I like that
recommendation?
question
That's
because
a very good
I'm right
question.
on page with that one.
The maintenance level. So a
Maintenance level?
Yes, your maintenance level. Your maintenance level is based on, well, when it comes to us, our full spectrum CBD oil, because there's so many different types of oil. Some you might need to take more, some you might need to take less, depending on the formulation of what it is. But we are using genuine full spectrum. So with this, it just goes based on your maintenance level, which is your weight. Every 20 pounds, you want to administer 5 milligrams. So that's the general rule.
Really?
Yeah,
Man, so if you're heavy,
Every 20 pounds is 5 what? Milligrams?
Yeah, basically. The
So
bigger
how
you
much is
are,
in a
the more you
drop?
need. How much is in there? Depending on the drop, like this one's the 2K.
Okay.
This does about 33 milligrams a dose. That's typical adult dose.
That's one drop?
Yeah, one
Okay.
drop, but it can vary depending on how much you weigh. And the CBD oil works on the whole entire body.
Okay.
So it's not just designed for a specific spot.
But that'll help. That one specifically will help with energy?
As long as you're doing the maintenance level, like in the beginning of the day, it will help with reducing
What do you
inflammation.
mean maintenance level at the beginning of the day? You take one.
Yeah, right at the beginning of your
So
day. The first,
right away in the day you take one.
I usually keep mine on my bedside table just to remind me to do it every morning or at night right before I go to bed. But in the morning, it helps reduce inflammation, and that's what wears you down. So by just using that regularly, it's good for your energy. It's also good too for athletes.
So one drop right away in the morning, and then that's it for the day, or what?
Yeah, one It tends to last for about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
And then it's often most people will dose twice a day, once in the morning.
What
once
if
at
you're
night.
really stressed out? Can you take double?
You can take it. You can take it as needed. You can take it as needed.
Because like some days I'm gonna need the whole bottle.
Yeah, inflammation. Yeah.
He's gonna put it in his. He's gonna drink it like a soda.
Yeah, it's gonna be my coffee.
No, that's a waste. Don't do that. You just by drinking all that, that's just a waste. No. You gotta take it as a regular daily dose.
Let's look at between the 2K and the 54K. What is the difference there?
Okay, so this is a 2K. It's got 33 milligrams of dose. Now this is our most potent and concentrated. This is a 54,000 milligrams, and it does 305 milligrams a dose. That's pretty potent. What we've come to learn in the literature is that people who have, like, for instance, arthritis, they're around 50 milligrams, just from our experience as well, too.
Yeah.
50 to 75 milligrams. Cancer patients are around 70 milligrams,
Wow.
75 milligrams, and they can vary depending on how much they have, and including chemo. If they're undergoing chemo, it can bump up to 150 milligrams.
How many people actually come to you where they have cancer? And
A lot.
And
Yeah.
they're looking to reverse that. Does it
yeah.
actually help
I've had
quite
so
a bit?
many
Huh?
success stories. Again, it's not a miracle cure. There's always going to be some people who've just, unfortunately, they just got into it too late. But I'm sorry, what was your question?
Oh, nothing. I was just reading something that said Brett adds CBD to his red line.
I tell no lies.
Brett, do you dabble a little bit, or you just? I mean, because I know the red line kind of brings you up.
Do I
Do you need
dabble?
something to bring you down? Is that what you're?
Yeah. What was my name again?
It's all good for you.
Man.
So
real estate's a stressful business. I don't know what to tell you.
So what she said is that CBD with no THC?
So it's considered a non-THC product, even though it has 0.3% or less. We do have broad spectrum, which is absolutely no THC, but I do recommend full spectrum because not only will it not trigger a positive in the drug test or create a high, but it's more effective. It's 3 to 4 times more effective, so you don't have to use as much.
And you would need a special license if it had actual marijuana in it.
Yeah. We would have to have a lot more THC than that.
Yeah.
And
not to make it worthwhile. Not this tease stuff.
But THC is not bad. It has its place in healing. You don't need much. That's the key factor there. Is as long as you're using all the different cannabinoids, it makes it all the more effective.
All right, guys, you know what time it is, so we're going to keep Michael here. We're going to talk about the housing market here with Brett Jenny coming out. Let's do it, Brett.
Oh, I love the new effects, buddy. All right. So I'm going to take this off because that just gets in the way. All right, so we're going to talk about current actives on the market right now. We have, as of this morning at 8 a.m., single-family residents just in Las Vegas, not Pahrump, not Boulder City. We've gone over this. It's 2,376 properties active. Condos and townhouses, 560 for a total of 2,936. But most importantly, here's a new stat that we're bringing up. Coming soons, right?
Let's hear it.
So coming soon, I mean, I think we can all agree that it behooves you to be ahead of what's going on and know what's coming on the market. So coming soons are properties that are going to be on the MLS, and they're going to be listed within either anything from tomorrow to a few days to a week from now. But they kind of load it on the MLS ahead of time. It's not active. You can't put any offers or anything like that, but it's what's about ready to come up on the market. There are a total of, in the next few days, 187 more properties that will be coming on the market. So if anybody out there wants a list of what these are, after the show, get a hold of Dan or I, and we'll be able to send you a list of what's going on. These are including condos, townhouses, single-family residence, all price points. So if you're interested, let us know. But that's what's going on with that right now.
Well, let's take a look at some of the data that we have here.
All right.
And this is your annual housing summary. And I want to look at this since 2012. And you can kind of guide us through this, Brett. It's a little bit closer to you. But you could see we've had the most number of homes sold here in Las Vegas in last year of 2021. and the median price last year was $425. In this 3 months, right? Because this is March, the completion of 3 months, we're at $460, right? Look how big of an increase that is.
Look at this too. For total number of units sold, the record setting that we've ever had was last year, over 38,000, which is 6,000 more than ever.
Yeah.
So that will give you an idea of how many people are moving to Las Vegas and how quickly we're growing. Because we had a record number of home sales that we've ever sold in this city, yet we are less than a month supply on the market.
Well, so
that'll give you an idea of how many people are moving here.
Yeah.
You know, because we set a record for number of sales.
So read this off here real quick. I want people to see this.
So which one do you want? The top one? So as far as units sold?
Yeah.
Or what? Okay, so what we had in 2012, going back 10 years, is we had 36,000. So we had 36,000, 2013, 32,000, 2014, 28,000, which was the lowest. And then it started going up from there. 2014, we had 28,000, almost 29,000. And then in 2015, there were almost 31,000. 2016, 33,000. 17, 35,000. And then back down to 32,000. 2019, 32,000. And even 2020. So for 3 years, it basically remained about the same amount of sales every year, which are around 32,000 homes.
Yeah, but then you look at the bottom, and then you say, okay, well, look at the homes that are on the market right now. The average homes was what, 2,200 last year? 2,250?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the good thing is, well, we're going to look at this here in a second, but would you say that the average homes, because we're looking at this data, this chart, 2,250 was the average of homes on the market, and I just saw it this morning, and we're at 27 single-family residence homes, 2,700. That's good, right? We're up like 500 homes, right?
We're starting to, yeah. I think we're up. We're only up like a couple hundred more homes from last week when I did it. But the problem is, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's good. That's a start. But to go up 100, 200 homes in a week when you should have 15,000 and you have less than 3,000, I mean, you need a lot to happen there. So most importantly is if we go back to 2013, 2012, 2013, what was it? The average price per square foot in 2012 was 182. What was that? I'm sorry. The average price was 182,000, and now it's 506,000.
Would you say?
Think about that. In 10 years, it went from an average price of 182,000 to 506,000.
Wow.
So this is why people think that this is gonna bust, right? We think
so.
That
I mean, I get that, but here's something that nobody can get around or nobody can unexplain, I guess, in my mind, or which is the elephant in the room for every conversation when we talk about this, which is the supply. Like, I get that. I get interest rates are going up. I get that we've printed 80% of all the money we've ever printed in our country in the past 2 years. I get all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you should have 15 or 16,000 homes and you have less than 3,000, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but is that the number of 16,000? Like that, I would say a healthy market would be anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 10.
A healthy market should be, according to what they use for stats, should be 4 to 6 months. We have less than a month.
I feel bad
so
for renters.
take what we have right now, 3,000, and times it by 4 or 5.
Running at Altitude has a good question here. He said 81% of people pay half of their income on renting right now.
I saw that. That was for people in the lower tax bracket, though.
Well,
that's like, just keep that in mind. I saw that stat, but that's with. So yeah, if you're working at McDonald's or doing whatever, I mean, people are, and don't get me wrong, that's a problem in itself. I understand, but that's not like the majority of people.
So let's go over to this. I want to look at March. So that was overall. I want to look at this data here. So let's look at March. I want to bring this up. Yeah. So I want you to kind of go over this with what we have here. So go ahead.
March, we had a total of 3,272 units. So the growth from February. The year before was 30% in appreciation.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, that's insane. That is right? So I understand when people say it should crash, because me just saying that should be like a warning sign of it about ready to crash. But I'm saying is there's nothing on the market.
And there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, and there's nowhere to go. So
explain what you mean by nowhere to go. So like did you guys buy a house?
I have a house. We bought it at $300,000, and then now it's
When did you
500.
buy it? What year?
2 years ago, 3 4 years
Which
ago.
is exactly my point. So why would you sell it now? Because exactly
There's
you
nowhere
said
to go.
there's nowhere to go. That's exactly my point. So that just compounds it even more.
Plus rates
then
are higher,
But then we
you
still
know?
have 50,000 people a year moving here, and it's going to continue to do so. So
Yeah.
New York shouldn't be getting $1,500 a square foot for a place in Brooklyn either. But dude,
Well, let me say
I'm
this.
not saying we're New York, but you know,
Do you feel like this is an unhealthy market right now, like to buy?
Yeah, I feel really bad for people who are making that decision right now.
so do I.
Really? So some people feel like, but what if you lived in like in the state of California, right? Let's say you're moving here or somewhere else where you're making a lot. Would you feel bad for those people? Because Las Vegans, I feel bad because they can't find a place to go after they.
Yeah, I feel bad for people that live here, that already live here. But yeah, it's
It's not the same town, is it?
Yeah, it changes like every 5 years.
Yeah, it does.
Is it for the better or for the worse though? Because some people might think, hey, they want a big city and they got the Raiders here, they got the Knights. So is it changing for the better?
Maybe it gets worse before it gets better.
Well, it depends who you ask. So some locals who like the way Vegas was and they lived here because of the way that was might not like it. Other people might not care. Other people that are moving here certainly don't care. Or they
Can't smoke in casinos anymore, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had somebody that walked into it's funny because they walked into a gas station. She's just smoking away. And everybody's looking at her like, where are you from?
Dude, you know what's crazy? I moved here in 2009, and in Madison, Wisconsin, like I said, Madison, they're super liberal. So they've banned smoking in bars and public establishments for like 30 years. I'm not kidding you, since like the late 80s in Madison, Wisconsin. And I come out here, and I'm like, it's 2009, and people walking around smoking. You're
like, what the hell?
It's like, man, we banned that like 30 years ago.
Yeah. I used to complain about it, but man, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of our freedom. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, let's go back to this here, Brett. So let's look at this little chart here. So we got single family residence homes. What about condos? Is there really an option out there for condos? What did we do in the month of March here?
Oh,
compared to February.
So there are 933 sold.
Yeah. So
but look at that. Oh my God. I don't even want to say it.
I just want to talk about it.
It's disgusting. I don't even want to say that number.
Well, just say it. What is it?
The growth, February 2022, the growth for condos appreciated 39.5%. That's gross. I'm done.
You're not doing real estate anymore?
I'm not doing real estate anymore.
Brett just walked out. He's not doing real estate anymore.
You guys can only be so lucky that I walked out on this. You would have to deal with me every Saturday.
Yeah, right.
You effers.
All right, what else is next? Let's go to the single. So let's look at the trend. We got a graph here.
Yep.
Number of closings that we saw in March,
So
right?
that's what that's the thing. Relatively around the same. Even going back to 2015, it's around 2,000 to 3,000, which isn't that much of a
but
difference.
we're seeing an increase, so that's the good thing. Is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say is there's some positive things happening here. People want to see. It doesn't want to be always, don't even try.
It's not doom and gloom. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we're
It's,
about to get a baseball team.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I see nothing but positive things for Vegas. It's just we're in a situation with the housing market that we've never seen. So we just need to work our way through it, and we will. And I don't know what to tell you, man. We got to work our way through something we've never been through before, and that's kind of what you do. You don't know what you're doing until you work your way through it. So right here, the median home closing price, though, look at that. 2015.
Look at that.
The median price. Will you look at that? Just look at it. Look at that.
Look at that. 2,000. That's just above 200,000.
And now, 450.
That is the highest increase. Look
Think
at that
about
graph.
In 7 years. And that's exactly what he's talking about. They bought their house, 2 years ago, 3 years ago for 300, and now it's 500. Dude, I sold a house 3 months ago that the person bought at the beginning of last summer for $415,000. And they moved into it, lived there about 5 or 6 months and said, oh man, we got to get out of town because of our job or whatever it is. We put it back in the market, and I essentially sold it for them 9 months later for $475. And they bought it at $415 9 months before that.
Wow.
My sellers love me, but
Look at this.
That's stupid.
The median price home. So you look at the number of closings that we've had, which is, it's not record. Look at back in 2018, we actually
That's what I'm
eclipsed,
saying, yeah.
we actually were eclipsing that as far as the number of closings that we had. But look, we've been well above 3,000.
But here's the key factor that none of these other years have had included that we now do, which is the shortage of supply. None of those markets had anywhere close to a shortage of supply. So the problem is we're having around the same amount of closings, maybe not a record, but to prove my point even more, but around the same amount of closings every year, but there's literally nothing coming on the market for the ones that are selling. That's the difference, which is why you see, look at, even at the beginning of 2020, the home price was $300,000, and now it's almost $500,000, like your house. When did you buy your house? When did you close on it?
Well, I think it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
For 4 years now.
And your biggest complaint is you have nowhere to go if you sold, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to stay in your house? Are you comfortable with your house? Or are you like, you know what? I see a lot of new homes coming out. Maybe I want to upsize. What I mean,
maybe in a couple of years.
So you would still do it though, even if the rates are higher, because that's where the question
see what
is.
happens.
I think it would take a change in a lifestyle, or somebody moving in or out, or like something like that, where you're having a lifestyle change or a family change, or you're moving out of town. Other than that, I mean, take that profit you made to move down the street and spend it on the one down the street, and see just switched homes.
So I got a question here I want to read. Running at Altitude put, City of Las Vegas plans to transform Desert Pines Golf Course into 1,800 homes to address housing shortage. Is that going to help? I mean, it'll help, but is it going to help long term? And should more of these golf courses start doing that?
They can't with that one. It's a shitty course anyways. The Rhodes Ranch, we got problems.
Well, I mean, look though, if we have a shortage,
they've done that.
Land is starting to become not scarce, but it's.
I get it, and it's smart. Even when I came here in 2009, since then there's been problems like in Queensridge, right? Where some developer came in and bought the golf course and said that he was going to take over the golf course and bring it back up and keep it running and all that stuff. And what he did is he dried it out and then came back to him and said, oh, well, guys, I can't make any money off the golf course now, so now I'm just going to have to build homes here. Well, you've got a bunch of rich people around there, so they're just going to fight you on that one all day long. But they're doing that in the Northwest as well. I forgot, what was that community up there? Same thing. Yeah. Where it was a golf course, and now it's just a dried up golf course, and that's what they want to do, or they've been trying to do.
Las Vegas is like that. Which
is come in and then say, well, we can't make any money off the golf course on it now, but that was their plan from the beginning because they're developers, and now they want to put up homes. Look, now the developers are it's going to be in their favor to do this more now, probably because of the shorting. Before there was being fought, but now.
What were you going to say?
The new houses being built. Like, there's a lot of new houses being built.
Well, listen, you got a lot of land that's sitting there for golf courses, right? And then now they're saying by 2026, the water situation, everybody has to remove their grass.
Oh, they're gonna control how much showers.
Yeah, we're gonna have to live differently with water for sure.
So they're making adjustments. This isn't like, hey, you know what? It's just a free for all because as many people are moving here, and the housing demand. Water, I don't think we have a water problem. If we didn't, they wouldn't be addressing this.
It can't be a free-for-all like it's always been in the past because we're not that size anymore. It's the same reason why the water, a lot of the water from Lake Mead goes straight to California, right? Yeah. Because we have a contract with them. So I'm sure back in the day when Las Vegas was super small, it was advantageous for us, financially to have a contract to send that water to Cali.
California wouldn't need our water if they would stop dumping their water back in the ocean. That's what they've been doing with their lakes.
Well, that's a whole other conversation about that
fucking governor is such an idiot. And not even idiot. They're doing it on purpose. Yeah. Those motherfuckers know what they're doing.
Yeah, right on, brother.
We struck a nerve.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Kick some ass, drink some beer. I'm all about that shit. Trust me.
Did you know that right now, the California fires that are going on right now, they're all hitting major food distribution locations. They're trying to fucking cut off our food.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's say this. Okay,
Bill Gates will rescue us.
Let's go back to the chart, Brett. We got to get back on track.
All right, good times, man. Shit.
Get back on track.
All right, what are we looking at?
All right, so let's go here.
It's all good, dude.
It's all good. So the number of listings in March, let's go ahead and put that out there.
Where's March at, man?
Right here, 3,526 units.
That's just for March?
Yep. And then availability, 2,000 units, 2,005 units. Look at
1,500 in contract.
Look at where it was at in 2015 compared to now, and how long it's been.
That's what I'm saying.
Since 2020.
Down here, look at all these other years and the same amount of closings, and now we have this down here. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's a micro, man.
Let me take a look at this. Let's keep going now.
Dude, you know what 2021 was there? It was
What?
junior varsity.
Really?
They didn't even make varsity.
Let's talk about
starting left bench.
days on the market, right? So let's look at this.
So that's
That's
what I like to see.
months availability.
Yeah.
Look at how low that is, though.
Days on the market.
You're seeing the record lows as far as months on the market, right? So
30
that's
days or less.
30 days or less. So look, that's 0.6 months, and that has been that way since really the pandemic. You look at 2020,
Yeah.
since the pandemic. Ever since the pandemic,
That's what
people have just been going and buying houses. I mean, just crazy amounts.
You see right here?
Yeah.
You see right here? These are normal markets. This is, I don't know what the hell that is.
That's doomsday.
That's historic right there.
But I mean,
in
look,
a sense, yeah.
time on the market, 30 days or less. All right, homes,
Yeah.
let's talk about this. This percentage, 82.8% of closings
Within 30 days?
within
Accepted
30
offers
days or
within 30
less.
days.
30 days or less.
Well, when they say on the market, they mean accepted offer, not actually closing.
Right.
So yeah, 30 days or less, they had an accepted offer. 82% of homes, 30 days or less.
Look at the number of, this is condos and townhomes. All right.
This is last month.
Yeah, this is last month.
933 units.
Yeah, look at that number, almost at the peak. And you know what? This time at 2018, this rivals 2021. Is that because rates are going higher? You know, maybe people are saying,
Dan, look at the number of units available that sold last month compared to the month before was up 39%.
yeah,
So that answers your question. No.
median closing price was 270.
Because you know who's
Highest ever for condos and townhomes.
That's insane. Dude,
highest ever.
I remember I bought a condo in 2011 at the Falls, right off of Durango and Sunset,
Yeah.
right by Rhodes Ranch.
Yep.
And it was like 950 square feet, 2-bedroom, and I think I got it for like $55,000. And
Wow.
that thing's worth like almost $300 now. That's stupid, man. I mean, dude, $55,000. You got to be smoking crack. That's crazy.
I got another question here. So DJ here said, so if these, let me see, if there's a market correction later down this year, do new home construction builders lower their prices too?
Yes, they'll keep in accordance with the market. Absolutely.
Yeah, but what if the demand is still there where they're willing to?
Then they
pay
won't.
Then they won't.
Well, then that's
Yeah, but
not what. That's not what.
But
what
that
would
doesn't
happen.
necessarily mean that they're going to trigger to say, yeah, if people still want to come buy new homes and it's there.
Yeah, so it's real simple. As long as they still have the demand of people and lines of people that are going to buy from
Right.
them and be in waiting list, then no, they won't lower the price because they don't need to.
Right.
Isn't the material cost gone up too?
Well, yeah, but
Well,
go ahead, Brett.
what they do is that's where your lot premiums come into play. That's where lot premiums are kind of a crock of shit. Or I should say you're paying for last year's prices, right? So say they open up a brand new phase of a community and they get in contract right now at like $500,000. Or say they got in contract last March at $500,000. Well, home price is going up like 25, 30%. That house that they had got in contract for $500,000, while it took them a year to build it, that house is probably now worth around $625,000. So what happens is builders, when they open up new communities now, like say they open up the second or the third phase in that same community, now they're going to say, okay, well, that house we increased by say 10 or 15% in price, but now we're going to include lot premiums. So that says that the base house, say the base price is $525,000, well, there's a lot premium of $30,000. So now it's not $525,000, now it's $555,000 because you got to pay $30,000 for the lot. And the reason of that being is because those buyers that got into contract last year at $500,000, while it's taken their house being built a year, prices increasing for lumber, for labor, for everything. They've got to absorb that cost.
Yeah.
Because you're still locked in at your price, but things on their end is costing them more. So to make up for that, when they release new lots, the new buyer comes in and the lot premium they throw in, and you essentially pay for that increase.
So look, I have people that tell me that the cost of wood, everybody talks about the wood and all that. It's starting to come down. Now,
good.
The supply of homes is the big deal because the builder has control of the market. If the supply comes up 6 months or more, which is definitely not here in Las Vegas, the control comes back a little bit to the consumer.
Then they'll be, they're going to keep in line with the market and what's going on with the market.
Right.
So that's really what it comes down to is just supply. I mean, at the end of the day, supply is what would cure all in this.
Yeah. So like if what going back to it is to answer his question is if the supply increases 3 months, maybe 6 months, then you're going to see those prices come down.
Absolutely.
Demand is less.
Yep.
And now the builder has to adapt.
Absolutely. Believe me, get a hold of me or Dan to do that, man, because I would love to give it to some of these builders.
Give it to them how?
Dude, with the way that they've been with buyers, I mean, treating buyers the way that they have.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, buyers know when they're being tossed around, man. Like, no, even if you have the money, nobody likes it. So I'm just saying that you can only piss off so many people for so long before the tide's going to turn. And let me tell you, so come talk to me because.
Let's do this. Let's go over condos and townhomes and wrap this show up. All right. So this is the market trends we see. Number of listings for March. Mm-hmm. You look at this number here, 924 units. And you guys take a look at this part of it.
So
go ahead.
The 394 is not excluding offers. So my number was lower because there's 100 and some that have accepted offers. These are ones that are in contract, just haven't closed yet and actives.
This is for March. Look at the number here, though. The lowest it's ever been.
Yep. Dude, that's what I keep on telling you, man.
It's just amazing.
It doesn't matter about interest rates and all these other things when you have that low of supply. Yeah. Because it's then compounded by what you just said. I bought a house 3 or 4 years ago. Where would I go? Exactly.
So here's what you look at, though. You have a number of 924 units. This is a number of new listings that's on the market, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a big deal because you got to look at this and say, okay, look at this graph, 1,000. We've been consistently above 800 new listings coming on the market pretty much every single month, right? Mm-hmm. For the most part. And when you have 0.6 months of supply on the market, month, you know what I mean? Where that's how many days on the market it is and supply, that just tells you that when they come off the listed, they're gone.
Yes.
They're literally
listed. They're going with multiple offers. That's what I'm saying is, especially on this, who's primarily buying a lot of these are probably cash investors. They're not doing loans. They're coming in cash and they're paying over list.
Wow. So let's look at this last graph and then we're gonna head out of here. So effective months on the market. This is again for townhomes and condos.
Think about that.
0.4.
Dude, that's not it. I can't even describe to you how wrong that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go home and take a shower after this. I feel so dirty from that stat.
Yeah. I mean, look, these people are forced to go to these homes, these condos and townhomes because there's nothing else on the market.
Crazy, man.
And people are like, well, why is there nothing? Well, look, 0.4, really when it hits the market ever since 2020, what's weird about this or what's coincides with all this is like during COVID.
Down another 10.6% supply from the prior month.
Yeah, during COVID.
Wow.
During COVID is when all these charts you start to see decline or increase or whatever you want to see it. That's the real trigger point, it looks like, for a lot of these graphs.
Dude, we had no idea when COVID hit what was about to happen, did we?
No.
Dude, we had I mean,
not at all.
This is what these numbers and these stats we're talking about are historic. I mean, it's just crazy that we're even referencing these things. But
yeah, this is crazy.
We're gonna answer this last question, then we got to roll here. Got a lot going on, but let's answer this question. Higher interest rates are forcing people to stay and not move. No current homeowner is going to sell with a 2.5 rate 30-year fix and buy a new home with a 5.5 30-year fix. 100%. And that's running at altitude. Great question. So basically saying when you have a rate as low as it was for COVID, we all saw that's why it happened. Mm-hmm. You got all of these things happening now where we're at 5.5%. Inflation's high. Why would anybody move from their home? You just brought
compounds it even more.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's
compounds it even more. So now we go further away from getting more homes on the market.
I get so many realtors asking me to sell my home. It's ridiculous.
Do you want to sell your house? I'll give you a good deal. But I can keep you in budget suites for a year or two and see what happens in the market. I can get you back in the house.
And you see how uncomfortable this whole situation came out? He's like,
dude, I'm just joking.
I don't know about this. How do I get out of here? Anyways, guys.
At least I'm obvious.
We're going to end the show. We got a lot of things to happen in here today. You guys, this is the most real behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk going on here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French. Please like the channel, subscribe. Everybody on here, I want to thank you guys for joining us this morning and putting out your questions. Hopefully we answered them well, and we'll see you guys. What's that? You got a plug?
How do we get a hold of you?
I got it right here.
How do you get...
this stuff is good for you.
If this stuff is good for you, all CBD. The link's right here, tsigfy.com.
Cool. Are we done?
Again, it's tsigfy.com. All things CBD.
Is there anything else? Like what location? Just real quick, if you could.
We're off of Buffalo and Sahara, right there on the corner. You can't miss us. And then also Fort Apache and Tropicana.
All right.
Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there, a lot of good information, and you can find us